This is Tanks and Tutties, brought to you by Tubbs and Franke. Listen, everybody, it's going to be a marvelous show. We are both very happy with the way life is going right now.
Debatable.
Psych!
Debatable.
I'm very happy. You're depressed, but it's a good reason that you're depressed, and I'm happy to see it. That sounds like fucked up.
I don't know if I would say
we'll
depressed.
Get to all that.
But
save it. We're going to mix it up this show because obviously there was a pretty big game on Sunday, and we want to talk about it. We're very excited. Well, I am. I don't know if you are. But let's get started with our weekend recap. Frankie, how was your weekend?
Not good. I watched the Packers lose on Sunday, and we're not going to the playoffs. Season's over. I lost money on TCU yesterday because I was a dumb fucking idiot and thought that TCU stood any chance against Georgia. So that also did not hit. And yeah, I'm not really sure what the bright side of my weekend was. I'm in between jobs, so I'm bartending again. Not really sure if that's a bright side or not. Yeah, so I'm not even going to ask you, so don't ask.
My weekend was fucking spectacular. We started out on Friday. I went rollerblading at a roller rink. And I'm not trying to brag, but I'm totally about to brag. I tore that shit up. I was out there. I felt like it was 1965. They had music going. I'm dancing on the skates. And I didn't actually dance on the skates, but I didn't fall once. I was there for an hour and a half. It was a fantastic night. I used to do some hockey, so in my parents' backyard they had a pond, so it'd freeze over. We did some hockey. It's the same goddamn thing. I tore it up, didn't fall, great time. And then Saturday, man, I hung out, watched some football. Actually, the only bad part of my weekend, Michigan did play MSU in basketball. This is your recap. They lost, but I got to watch the Jags game at a buddy's house, grabbed some Taco Bell, hung out, watched a comedy special, and then went home. It was great. And then we get to Sunday, probably the best day I've had in a while. I got to watch football all day. There was some meaningful games. The Rams-Seahawks game was awesome. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. It sucked that they lost, but I went straight into fuck the Packers mode, and obviously the Lions ended up winning. That's the reason why you are so depressed, and it makes me happy. And fuck the Packers, fuck Aaron Rodgers. Let's get right into it, okay? Here's what we're going to do, folks. We're not going to recap the game. You all saw it. Actually, we are, because I'm going to go off about the awesome plays down the stretch and how shitty Aaron Rodgers is and how the refs tried to get him into the playoffs. But everybody knows the scenario. Packers win. They're in the playoffs. Rodgers goes again. Packers fans don't know what not being in the playoffs is like because they haven't been not in the playoffs since, 2018?
It's been a while.
Yeah, so us Lions fans and Lions players, we wanted to remind them what it feels like to miss the playoffs, especially in heartbreaking fashion, and I'm so glad we did that. So quickly, let's not drag it out because you're depressed. It probably will be boring for the viewers, but let's get your quick thoughts on the game, and then I have some questions that I'm going to ask you, and you're going to give me a yes or no answer. And that's going to be our summary here. So why don't you go ahead and give me your quick thoughts?
Do you want just the game?
Yes.
Okay. First off, Quay Walker, fucking idiot.
What a fucking dumb fuck.
Second off, the Rasul Douglas play was dumb, but not as dumb as people are making it seem.
Pretty fucking dumb, though. Pretty fucking dumb.
There was a timeout already called. Play was done.
You want me to make you see that it's even more dumb than you think it is right now? The distance that we were kicking from right there, right? We run on a play. I can't even remember.
No,
I was so
kicking.
Excited. Were they kicking a field goal?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So, that distance, Badgley had missed one earlier in the game.
I know.
Now you gave him 15. Just saying. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, so the penalty didn't come from him hitting the ball. It came from the push after the fact, which was the dumb part. The hitting the ball was, like, I wasn't against that because there was a timeout called. Why would you, like, I don't want the kicker to get that extra attempt, but that's besides the point.
It's the ref's job,
anyways, Rodgers played like shit. Defense was
put him in jail
here and there, hit and miss. I don't really know what to think. Aaron Jones' fumble was quite possibly the biggest play of the game.
Big time play. Did you see on that fumble, Lim McNeil blocked, I don't know if it was Jones or another player, but blocked them from touching it while they were out of bounds to get it blown dead rather than go for the ball. That was just big brain.
Yeah, I saw that. That was a smart play.
Yep.
Yeah, I sat there watching the game and was texting people the entire time. I wasn't worried through the first half, even though it was close. I was a little upset that we couldn't convert on the goal-to-go drives a couple times, but we've seen that all year. And yeah, I don't know. It sucked that we couldn't produce in the end of the game, and it sucks. But I mean, I was fully expecting not to make the playoffs mid-season, and then they got my hopes back up and ended up right back where I thought we were going to be. Just wasn't ready for it, so that sucked. But yeah, that was my thoughts on the game.
So, my thoughts real quick. Detroit dominated. That game was never in doubt. Detroit had it from the start. They have more heart. They play harder. They had absolutely nothing to play for, and they were out there acting like it was a playoff game, because this was a playoff game for the Packers. Win and you're in. You got to throw your heart on the line. Rodgers didn't even give a fuck. He knows he's done. He didn't give a fuck, win or lose. Doesn't give a fuck. My favorite part of the entire game, is when Rodgers is leaving the stadium and the camera tries to get his little bitch-ass face all sad, and he pushes the camera guy back because he's a fucking scumbag. My favorite part. I could see the tears. He's a little pussy. Fuck that guy.
So
my other thoughts, I'll keep it short.
I actually turned it off as soon as they got the first down. I turned it off and I went upstairs.
As most fans would.
So, couldn't tell you what the camera push was. Didn't see it. I haven't tried to avoid everything.
It wasn't aggressive. It wasn't aggressive. It was just him saying, "Hey man, behind." But like, whatever. I'm just talking shit because I hate that motherfucker. My other favorite part of the entire game. I don't remember if it was 1st and 10. It was like 2 minutes left. We're trying to work the clock, but you still had timeout, something like that. And we either got sacked or tackled for a loss. And I think it was like 2nd and 17, or maybe there was a penalty too. I don't remember. 2nd and
17, yeah.
It was like 2nd and 17. Yep. And Ben Johnson, with his big-ass testicles in his wheelbarrow, he says, I'm going to call the play of the game right here. And what does he do? He calls a screen, hook, and ladder to Swift, who gains 15 yards back, 3rd and 2. What the fuck? You got to have a set of nuts to call that play. And you know my favorite part? I was thinking about this. I was like, if they were fighting for a playoff spot, I don't think they would have called that play. But then I thought about it. We've been calling big dick plays all year, going for it on bad situations all year. They would have called that play if we were fighting for a playoff spot, and that's what makes me happy about this team. Then 3rd and 2, they get stopped. 4th and 1, you got a chance to go up by 7 and give Rodgers a minute with no timeouts. But Dan Campbell says, nah, we're going to win this fucking game. And they call a great little curl route to DJ Chark. First down, game over. Fuck the Packers. We'll get into some of your other thoughts after these questions here, because I think these will hit a couple of them. So, I literally, all I want is yes or no. Do you agree with the statement? Okay. You can elaborate a little bit, but I don't want too many thoughts.
I'll try to hold it to as few words as possible.
Okay. First up, Rodgers is done as a Packer.
Yes.
Okay. I agree. I'll say if I agree or not as well. I will probably be a yes for most of these, just letting you know. Matt LaFleur has tarnished Rodgers' career because he is a shitty coach.
No.
Okay.
I'm assuming you disagree.
Losing, somewhat. That was just kind of a dig. But this one, I'm reading this from your perspective right now. Imagine you're me, okay? Losing to the Lions makes me more depressed than the 2020 playoff loss to the Bucks.
The 2020 playoff loss to the Bucks.
When we were living together at Locale and betting was first legalized and Kevin King couldn't cover a
Scotty Miller.
Make-A-Wish game.
Yeah.
Yep.
No.
Are you more depressed? Okay. I kind of figured that would be your answer because that was playoffs, but this was technically a playoff game.
And
you could have been in the playoffs.
Yeah,
so.
but like I said earlier, I wasn't expecting us to be in the playoffs, so for us to even get back to the situation was kind of a surprise. Where that game, we should have won that game. That was NFC Championship, I think,
agree.
right?
No, the championship was Bucks Rams. No, it wasn't.
I'm pretty sure that was. Yeah, because that was the year Tom Brady won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you're right. All right, let's get moving here. The Packers will finish below 500 again next year.
Oof. I'm gonna say no. Although I don't know. Like,
sounds like you think it's close.
Yeah.
Once again, this is from your standpoint. I hope Rodgers does not return as a Packer.
Wow.
I know, these are thinkers, aren't they? They're thinkers.
Yes.
Oh, wow. I can't believe you agree with that. Holy shit. I can't believe you agree. I thought that would be an immediate no. I'd be happy to have him back. Wow.
I have
believe it.
More thoughts on that later.
Okay, I'm going to save this one for the end. The Lions are now the Packers' daddies until proven otherwise.
No.
I don't know.
No.
Season
No.
sweep. 3 of the last 4.
Nope.
I don't know. All right. I obviously disagree
guess
with that one.
You could say until proven otherwise, which would be the first time we play you guys next year. So
we'll have to see, I guess. The Lions' future is more promising than the Packers.
No. Okay. Absolutely not.
Okay, that's fair. It's fair. Defense is in a better spot,
Nope.
but Lions have the better
Not
offense.
true.
But you think the Packers' offense is better than the Lions?
Sorry, I misheard what you said. Currently in this state,
the Packers.
it's very even on offense.
Okay, I just added this one. If Jordan Love played quarterback Sunday night, the Packers would be in the playoffs.
No comment.
Oh, that's a pussy move. Answer the question. Don't be a pussy.
Realistically, no, but my heart tells me yes.
Okay, interesting. I still think Kirby Joseph would have made him his son.
Fully healthy.
The NFC North now runs through Detroit.
No. Not even close.
Okay, that's fine. My last one, unless I think of another one, I just thought of another one. The Lions would be a more fun team in this year's playoff than the Bucks.
Absolutely.
Okay. Wow, I'm glad you agreed with that one. I was worried you would say no, and I was going to have to
I fucking
elaborate.
hate Tom Brady.
Actually, 2 more now.
Jesus.
This one's for you, Papa Tubbs. The Lions should re-sign Alex Anzalone.
Yes.
Yep, I agree wholeheartedly. That motherfucker has heart. He's in there every play, and some of these Lions fans need to realize that not every linebacker can be fucking Bobby Wagner, okay? And Alex Anzalone is a good linebacker, and we can probably get him for cheap. Aiden Hutchinson deserves Defensive Rookie of the Year.
No.
Who deserves Defensive Rookie of the Year?
I think Sauce Gardner.
That's okay. That's the only other acceptable answer, I guess. Last one here. Fuck the Packers. They're all a bunch of pussy-ass bitches. Rodgers deserves to rot in hell. And A.J. Dillon is fat.
I don't think I can answer that. There was no question asked.
It's yes or no. It's yes or no.
No.
Do you agree with the statement?
No.
Okay. All right. That concludes Tubbs' questions for Frankie. I may have more later on in the show. I will bring them up. But we're gonna hit the rest of NFL here. Unless you have any other thoughts, or do you want to take a break? Maybe we'll come back to it later. What do you want to do here? Because I can talk about this the whole episode if you want.
Well, I mean, I do have my what I hope happens. If you want me to go through that.
Let's hear that.
So, I'm doing a lot of listening to outside sources lately, mostly just today. And just trying to figure out, what is going to be next for this team and what do I want to happen next. Here's what I've decided. I'm calling it the burn bridges plan, the scorched earth operation, whatever you want to go with. I want Rodgers gone. I want Joe Barry, our defensive coordinator, gone. I want David Bakhtiari gone. I want Alan Lazard gone. But potentially more. I'd even consider Matt LaFleur at this point. Talk
about the overreaction of the year.
No. At first, I thought so too. And, yesterday I was fully like, okay, if Rodgers leaves, that's fine. Let's just get a new, some new coordinators in there, get a good draft. We'll be fine. Let's just retool. And then after, listening to a couple different things today, I completely changed my mind, and here's why. So Rodgers is probably gone regardless after the whole Jameson Williams jersey swap, and he said, I think I got to hold on to this one. I don't foresee him to come back, whether he retires, asks for a trade, whatever it is, opts out of his contract. I don't foresee him to come back. If he does come back, I hope we choose Jordan Love over Rodgers. I know that probably wouldn't happen unless we were going to trade him, and I just don't know what we would get back for Rodgers and what his value really is. So I want Rodgers gone. We have the quarterback to take over for it now. You might as well use that quarterback. If you have a guy who is 24 years old, whatever he is, sitting on your bench, who was a first-round draft pick, you've seen him play in a couple games, he was decent. Why would you trade him and go with the guy who is almost 40, towards the end of his career, who just had a career worst year?
Uses drugs, deserves to be arrested.
Takes Iowa. Why? I just don't know why you would not go with the young guy in that
PR
situation.
Right.
For me, it just doesn't. It
also,
doesn't
young
make
guy,
sense.
when's his contract up?
He'll be going into his last year of his rookie contract.
Yeah.
So it's like now or never. And he has said that he wants to either play or get traded. So he's now giving the ultimatum. So now Rodgers stuck us in this shitty position, and we're stuck to have to make a fucking decision. Joe Barry, our defensive coordinator, I have mixed emotions on because our defense was absolute dog shit at the beginning of the year. But at the end of the year, the defense was, I would say, top 5 defense in the league. And we didn't change coordinators mid-year, so if anyone's doing it, it's him. So I think there's still potential that our defense could be good behind Joe Barry, but I also wouldn't be against going out and finding somebody else. So I have mixed emotions on that. Bakhtiari, he costs us way too much money to play 5 games a year, so I'm done with him. I hope he retires, so we don't have to cut him, because that's probably what would happen. Lazard, dude, he's gone. His press conference after the game, he made it very obvious that he's not coming back. They asked him if...
Is he a free agent?
Yeah, they asked him if he thought 12 would be returning next year. And he said, fuck if I know, man. I know where I'm going to be, and laughed. So...
Damn!
I would say he's not coming back. Which,
I think that's
perfectly fine. We probably have to pay Lazard like $12, $13 million a year. I'm not paying that for a wide receiver 2 or 3 who had the highest drop rate of his season this year.
Alan. Come to D-Town, Allen. Let's go. Let's go.
So now we get into the very questionable one. Matt LaFleur. I personally really like Matt LaFleur. I think that he has been a great coach. He's led us to multiple 13-win seasons, been in the playoffs 4 straight years. What bothers me is the lack of responsibility to hold anybody responsible for anything. Quay Walker. That's the second time that something like that has happened this year. He can't control his guys. Like, that is frustrating.
Same guy too.
The fact that we consistently fail down the stretch in the big games worries me. The fact that our offensive play calling is questionable at best on big plays, not a fan. Now, I do have a solution for that without firing LaFleur. My solution is let's go out and get Cliff Kingsbury as our offensive coordinator. He was just fired. Why not go get him? Probably way out of their idea, but it's an option.
Yep.
And
we got to get moving here.
Okay, fine. I'll make it last point quick. A lot of people have been calling for LaFleur's job, and I'm not sure that's the right decision. I just hope that Brian Gutekunst, our GM, has the nuts to make the hard decisions this offseason and do what's best for the team, not what's best for the players that have been there. More particular, that's Aaron Rodgers.
Very good point.
Because Aaron Rodgers has held us hostage.
Yep. Without a gun, too. No gun, no weapon, no nothing. He just said, yep, I own you motherfuckers.
And it's either going to put us into a really, really long rebuild. And, last point, I'll make this one quick, sorry. If Rodgers does return next year, we're going to trade Love. Love's gone. We're going to be in cap hell for years. And we won't, I guess we probably would have draft picks. But nobody's going to want to come play for us. And we're going to literally be in a rebuild for multiple years.
You're not going to get a first for Love. I guarantee you that. So, he hasn't played enough. But my final thoughts, I got a couple of stats, but I'm going to be so fast. Passing yards Sunday night, Aaron Rodgers, 17 for 27 for 205, 1 touchdown, and 1 pick, but technically 2. I'm counting the second. Jared Goff, 23 for 34, 224. Lions are better. Rushing yards, Jamal Williams, 16 carries, 72 yards, 2 touchdowns, breaks Barry Sanders' record. Pretty fucking awesome. Needed the extra game. I think Barry still stands. Aaron Jones, 12 carries, 48 yards. And so I just wanted to point that out. My headline of the year, Rodgers throws costly interception late, put him in jail. I added the put him in jail. And final thought, I just want to say I fucking love where the Lions are at right now. We're a fun team to watch. We battle every fucking game, and I love Dan Campbell. I just wish, great segue here, I just wish the Rams could have got it done. That game was honestly a ton of fucking fun. The Rams pretty much held a lead most of the game. The defense kept getting stops. Geno looked like New York Geno again, but Baker just couldn't get it done. Seahawks had a chance to win it at the end of regulation and doinked it, which obviously got me and every other Detroit Lions fan excited. And then the Seahawks started with the ball, and the Rams got a pick or they got a big stop. What was it? One of the two. They got the ball back.
Big stop.
Baker has a chance. The whole game I was saying, let Baker bake. Let Baker bake. And he just never did. He tried to bake, and he set the house on fire because he left the oven on all night. Also, it was Quandre Diggs, former Lion. That one hurt. I forgot to bring this one up. Actually, I haven't forgot because we're still talking about it. But the officiating in that game was probably the worst of the year. And I know, Lions fans always blame the refs, yada, yada, yada. But let me just read these to you and think back to the game.
Are you talking about the Lions game?
No, I am talking about Seattle,
okay.
L.A. I think the Lions game was okay. There was a couple questionable ones, but it wasn't that bad. So in the Seattle game, think back to it. Try to remember as I go through here. In the fourth quarter, only the fourth quarter, roughing the punter that just wasn't. Did you see that one? He was blocked into him, and that gave him a first down when the Rams should have got the ball back. A late hit that really wasn't on Ramsey. I'm not as upset about that one, but Geno's running upfield. Ramsey just stands his ground. Like, he kind of lowered the shoulder, I guess, but it wasn't, like, malicious. But they called it. You kind of have to. It's the quarterback. I get it. However, after that play, when Metcalf puts his hands inside of Ramsey's helmet, you're not going to call that and make it offsetting? I think you should, but they didn't. Geno not getting called for that intentional grounding, that was big. And then Diggs on the interception not getting called for a taunting penalty. You can't stick the ball out at the opposing team's sideline and not get a taunting penalty.
That was hilarious.
That's the biggest one. Outside, it was hilarious. I would have loved it if I had no skin in the game. But obviously, I had all of my skin and my toes and my entire heart. But so that
toes?
And my Twitter was blowing up with it. Yeah, my whole entire everything was there. I was way into that game. But it was just some of the worst officiating we've seen this season, and of course it was a game the Lions needed the Rams to win, and it all went in the Seahawks' favor. But what was my other point? Oh, I saw a funny tweet. It said the Lions are going to be the first team to send in tape to the officiating offices that they didn't play in.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I mean, fuck. That shit was wicked. But yeah, that game was fun. I mean, you had it all. Seahawks won on a last-second field goal to go to the playoffs because the Lions won. You're welcome, Geno. Now go get it done. I am a big Geno guy. I just couldn't be on Sunday. I'm going to run through the rest of these pretty quick since we went so long on Lions-Packers, so jump in if you want. But Dolphins-Jets might have been the worst game of the year, worst game I've ever watched. I wanted to puke. That's what you get when you have Joe Flacco versus Skylar something. Yeah, I mean, the Dolphins won 11-6. There was no touchdowns. Just an absolutely disgusting game. But the Dolphins get into the playoffs with the win. So maybe, honestly, I'm a Tua hater, right? I fucking hate him. I think he's trash. But watching that game, it made me miss Tua because it was like, wow, Tyreek and Waddle are being wasted.
Never know what you have until it's too late.
And people were saying Sauce locked up Tyreek. No, he didn't. Tyreek was 1 hurt, 2, Skylar Thompson missed him a million fucking times. Like, there was a million bad throws. Cowboys lost to the Commanders while starting all of their starters. Interesting one there. Something to watch for in the playoffs. But
yeah.
It wouldn't have mattered. The Eagles won, so they locked up the 1 seed.
That game made me a little upset because it really showed that if the Packers got into the playoffs, I mean, we would have had to play Brock Purdy and the 49ers, so you never know what happens there if we beat them. Potentially having to play the Cowboys later on, who I think are frauds, and the Vikings, who I think are also frauds. I mean, if we got in the playoffs, there's a real chance we made a dangerous run.
I think...
this might be the worst NFC playoff I've seen.
I was just going to say the
ever.
NFC it's full of frauds. It's full of frauds.
The Cowboys,
the Giants,
Bucks,
the Eagles, the Vikings, the Cowboys.
all of them.
The Bucks.
Literally every team.
I know, dude. Like, the Eagles are frauds, too. And, with Jalen Hurts, he's banged up. Who's the other teams? You got, let's list them off. You got Eagles, Vikings, Cowboys. Stop. One of us needs to talk. I'm getting confused. Eagles, Vikings, Cowboys, Giants, Bucks. Who are the other two? Niners. Not really frauds. And the Seahawks. I think the Niners are going to go to the Super Bowl, and there's going to be a chance that I shave my fucking head because of Brock frickin' Purdy.
I would say they're the most real team in there right now.
I'm going to look right now while we're doing this, but if this is a decent number, everybody needs to go hammer the AFC to win the Super Bowl. Because, are you fucking kidding me? You got Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert. The AFC's fucking
Trevor
stacked.
Lawrence, Tua,
Lamar Jackson. If Tua plays, I don't know if Lamar Jackson's back either. But just strictly based off quarterbacks, the AFC should win by 20 points no matter what. I'm gonna look right now. But yeah, it's the same thing with the Lions, man. They could have gone in and done some shit. It's crazy. Also, did you see the AFC? Their oldest quarterback in the playoffs is
27.
Mahomes.
Yep.
At 27. That's ridiculous.
The NFC's over here with fucking
Cliff Kingsbury, you mentioned
Tom Brady at 49 or whatever he is.
yeah. Cliff Kingsbury, you mentioned he was fired.
Yeah, I think that was a
Packers
scapegoat.
OC. I think so too, because Kyler was hurt for a lot of the year.
And
like, what the fuck?
I think there was some deeper shit going down too, because the GM also stepped down.
Yep, to focus on his health.
Yeah.
Let's see. Would that be under team futures?
Yeah, they probably
I'm
don't
gonna
have
look
that.
around. Fuck. League winner. They did a while ago. I don't know. Sorry. I thought, let's mix in some college football here real quick. I want Harbaugh to hurry up and make his fucking decision on if he wants to go to the NFL or not, because Cliff Kingsbury, pretty damn good college coach, put him at Michigan. You can get the AFC conference at minus 145 to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's a lock.
Add that to my locks. We haven't done that yet, but I'm adding it to it. All right. So, yeah, Michigan, Harbaugh, hurry the fuck up and decide what you want to do, because I'm getting sick of it, and we could get Kingsbury. Or, I'll get into that one later. Lovie Smith got fired. What the fuck, Texans? What are you doing? They had the number 1 overall pick locked up, just had to lose, and they decided on 4th and 20 to throw a Hail Mary, and they caught it, and then instead of tying it and going to overtime and possibly losing, they went for 2. What do you think about this? I think that was a big fuck you by Lovie Smith.
Oh, 100%. I think
knew,
he's a good coach.
I think he's a good coach, and I think he knew he wasn't going to come back. So I think he said, fuck you guys. Fuck your first overall pick.
I mean, I don't
2.
hate it. I think that's a badass
But
move.
it's also like, it's one of those, they didn't have a fucking chance anyways. They had nothing to play for, I mean. So.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson put that team in hell.
I also think they're still going to get their player they wanted, because the Bears are clearly not going to take a quarterback, and I think the Texans would be dumb to not take a quarterback.
Yeah.
So, the Jags beat the Titans to make the playoffs. That game was fun. It was boring but fun.
Very fun.
I think the Jags will be a fun team to watch. I just don't think they have the talent that some of these other AFC teams do. But Steelers, Mike Tomlin has never finished before 500 in a season. They finished at 9-8. That's impressive as fuck.
And if the Dolphins would have lost, they would have made the playoffs.
If the Dolphins, yeah. Can you imagine if the Steelers would have made the playoffs?
They would have been routed in the first round. Absolutely destroyed.
Yeah, absolutely. They would have played, who's the 2 seed, Buffalo or the Bengals?
Buffalo.
Either one of those would have routed them. Maybe not the Bengals, but the Rams pick is now 6th overall for the Lions. That's awesome. The Lions pick will probably be something like 15, 16, I think, because you got 14 teams make the playoffs. Yeah, it'll be 15, 16, 17, 18, somewhere in there. So you got 2 mid to high first-round picks. That should be fun to see. Why don't you go ahead and hit your division winner recap here?
Yeah, so I almost had a very big rant this weekend because, as you guys all know, I had my division winner parlay, and it ended up going 4 out of 6. The 2 teams that lost were the Titans and the Rams. I do want to point this out, though. When I was making the parlay, we made it live on the show here, I wanted to take the 49ers in the NFC West. And Jake said, no. You gotta take the Rams. The Rams are the Super Bowl favorite, or like the Super Bowl champs. They're not gonna not win the division. So I was like, you know what? Fine. Like I'll take one of your picks. I'll take the Rams. Now, if the Titans would have beaten the Jaguars, the Titans would have won the AFC South. I also picked the Titans to win the AFC South. That would have put me at 5 of 6. And if I would have taken the 49ers like I wanted to, I would have hit my parlay. And what was a $5 for $800 probably would have became 5 for over $1,000. So I was very close to being very upset. Jake is very lucky that the Jaguars won, and he should be thanking Trevor Lawrence. So, but yeah, that was my little rant on my division winner parlay recap. I'm probably gonna run it back again next season. Maybe a couple other sports in the meantime.
I think you should. I did one too. I kind of want to go find mine now. I forgot what mine was. I know it was different from yours.
You had the Ravens.
I just
want to
say. I just wanted to say, you first of all, close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. Second of all, the 49. You took the 49ers thinking Trey Lance was the quarterback. Then he wasn't.
No,
then Jimmy G was.
I think it was when Jimmy G was.
Anyways, you took it thinking it was Jimmy G. Here comes Mr. Irrelevant. Like, if that would have hit, I wouldn't even have felt bad because it's just the luckiest fucking thing ever. If the Titans would have won and you would have taken the Niners, or I don't even know what I'm trying to say. What I'm saying is there's no way that Brock Purdy can keep this up and they're going to lose. I'm going to probably bet against them. I don't know. It's ridiculous. Paige's picks recap. Last week, honestly, was easy, you could say. But
a lot
Franke
of games
went
were already
13
decided
and 3
before they started.
Yep, Franke went 13-3, 158, 110-3 on the season. Before I get deep into this one here, I did not have time to go back and listen to every episode and all of our picks to see which game I missed on our recap. So I'm going to try to do that this weekend because I went 12-4, finishing the season at 157, 111-3. So that one game is a big fucking deal because we're either tied or Franke won outright. So if we end up tied, when I go back and look, I will go this weekend. We are going to pick next weekend's divisional games, and that'll decide the winner for the season. Paige went 8-8. She finished the season 142, 126-3. I'd say just a little bit better than a dog could have done. So shout out to her. But let's get into our locks and long shots here. This is weird. We never do it this late. Last week I had Jags minus 6.5. That did not hit. Jags offense looks stagnant. I should have taken that big of a spread. I think I even said on the show it'll probably be close because it's for the playoffs. I don't remember taking TCU, but I'm gonna take your word for it. That was not a good bet.
It's in the sheet for last week.
But this week we're gonna. Then I definitely took it. So I just don't remember. I probably did it because, their offense looked great against Michigan, and then last night they just wow. But this week I'm taking Chargers -1 against the Jags. I think the Chargers are getting unnecessary hate. They're a good team. I know they lost to the Broncos last week, but I know they had some starters out on defense. And also in the middle of the show, I added AFC wins the Super Bowl at -145. Go ahead and put your life savings on that one. It's going to hit. So locks on the season, 21-16. Long shots, had a split. I had the Heart Parlay with Rams and Lions. Obviously, the Rams lost, Lions won. Did you hear that one, Frankie? The Lions beat the Packers, ending their season.
I did hear that.
Did you get that?
Yep.
Okay. But I did do the backup plan. I took the Seahawks and the Lions. That hit. So split there, 12-18 on the year on the long shots. This week we're going to do a three-legger. Chargers -1, Bills -9.5, Bengals -6 alternate. Go ahead and cash that. I didn't look at the odds. That'll be a nice hit, though. The Bills will cover every spread on their way to a Super Bowl win. And the Bengals have been playing well. And like I said, the Chargers are hated on for no reason. So what do you got for locks there, bud?
So before I actually get into mine, I have a proposal for you. We are now in 2023. Okay. Should we reset our records?
No, because records are for the show. For the entirety of the show.
Yeah, but these records are going to get huge.
No, I understand that your record is really bad, so you want to change it. But my lock record's pretty good, and my long shots aren't bad, so I'm not changing it.
Okay, so for me, in 2022, I went 14, 15, and 2. This year, actually, no, I went 14, 13, and 2. This year, I am 0-2 and 0 so far.
No. Listen, here's what you do. You do a separate record to the right of that in red, and that's your 2023 record.
Well, I just want you to know that's the only one. No, that's the only one I'm mentioning is this year's every time.
Fine, and I'll mention your total.
I'm not mentioning it.
That's fine. I will.
You can keep track.
Go ahead. What do you got for locks? What'd you have for locks last week?
I'm not even going to talk about them. I just went 0-5 between my locks and long shots last week. It was just a bad week of betting.
Yep. So he had Packers -4.5 against the Lions. They lost outright. Missed the chance at the playoffs, and Rodgers is probably going to retire. He also had TCU like me. Can't talk shit about that one. His Heart Parlay, he took the Packers reverse teaser, and he took TCU money line.
Yeah, so
The Hart parlay, if you don't remember, it was Rams money line so that Rodgers could beat the Lions when they had a chance for the playoffs, and he had.
well, it was more that
he had Rams Packers.
It was more that I would rather have played the Lions when they were trying to get into the playoffs than trying to stop us. I said that.
Right.
Anyways,
no, that's fine. It's just 0-5, no big deal. So go ahead.
Anyways,
what do you got
this week Bengals -7. Like we said, we don't know if Lamar's going to play. I would assume he is, but I like the Bengals. I'm riding it until the wheels fall off, like I said earlier, a couple weeks ago. Added the AFC to win the Super Bowl as a lock. Long shots, I'm going Bills to win the Super Bowl. Like Jake said,
I like
Bills are going to cover on their way to winning the Super Bowl this year. And I'm getting them at plus 420. We already talked about the AFC to win the Super Bowl. Kind of gets me to double up here. And kind of gives me a hedge, too. If the Bills don't make it, I can still bet on an NFC team and still profit if the AFC team wins. But, no, I like the Bills' chances here. I think, they're going to have a pretty easy road, I think. And then a fun one for this weekend. Any non-quarterback, to throw a touchdown, plus 1,500. We've already seen guys like Christian McCaffrey can do it. We know Dawson Knox can do it. There's guys all throughout the league. It's a fun one. I don't really need to explain it. Yeah.
What book has that?
I saw it on FanDuel.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, that's fun. That'd be fun to root for.
And plus 1,500 is, that's one hell of a payout. It's it's wild card weekend. Things get wild.
Right. Exactly. They get electric, you could say.
Some would say that, yeah.
College football, real quick. I don't even think we need to talk about it. Georgia beat TCU 65-7 in the national championship game. It was the biggest
Georgia pulled their starters
win
at
margin.
The fourth quarter.
It was the biggest win margin in any bowl game ever, let alone the national championship. It was also the largest win margin, or the most points scored against a top 5 team in the AP poll history. I didn't watch after halftime. I don't know if you did, but there was no point. It was 38-7.
I had it on. So, I didn't watch.
I feel bad. TCU's fun, but it pisses me off that Michigan lost to TCU because look what they just did against Georgia. But it also doesn't because what would they have done to Michigan who lost to TCU?
Yeah, but Michigan also played one of their worst games of the year. Played their worst game of the year.
I agree. It was their worst defensive game of the year, and JJ fed them 13 points with the pick sixes.
Yep.
So, my other point I wanted to make is that I am now also a huge Stetson Bennett hater.
Yeah,
that guy's
I
a fucking
hate that
scumbag.
Dude.
He's fucking 45 years old, still playing college football, and he's out there acting like he's fucking Tom Brady. No, dude, you're 26. You're 26. Move on. There's a reason you're still in college rather than the NFL. You would have declared for the draft. He's not going to be shit in the NFL. He's older than 9 starting NFL quarterbacks.
Fun fact, he's older than Jordan Love.
Yeah. Older and the other one.
And Jordan Love has been in the league for 3 years.
Exactly. It's like, what the fuck? Go over your Wisconsin update while I find the list of quarterbacks he's older than.
Yeah, so I do have a Wisconsin college football update, and most of you will never.
3 weeks in a row.
I believe we're at 4 this week. You'll never guess why. The Badgers got a quarterback. And I know I said it last week. You may be thinking it again. That I said that last week and the week before. And for 4 weeks in a row. And you would be right. We did get another quarterback transfer. This marks the 5th 4-star quarterback that we will have on our roster for next year. So my whole plan of having 1 per down is not really going to work out since you only get 4 downs. At this point, I don't know what. Somebody has to become a tight end because there's no words for it. I don't know.
We were talking before the show, and you got to think that one of them is changing positions.
There's no other option. Whoever, imagine being a 4-star quarterback on that roster and being like, yeah, I'm probably not going to play.
Who's the quarterback that didn't get recruited that was already there?
Chase Wolf.
If Luke Fickell might have told him to transfer. Maybe he doesn't want him. And that's why I still don't understand why he needs 4 transfers. But
yeah, I think
you get your 1 quarterback per down back if he transfers.
Yeah, I don't know when he can transfer until. But
I don't know.
It's going to be interesting. I'm probably going to lock up a future here on Wisconsin to win the Big Ten soon. So we're just going to give it a little bit of time to settle in, see where everyone goes, because still some uncertainty in the quarterback room. So
yeah, yep. Here's the list, by the way. Stetson Bennett is older than Jalen Hurts, Justin Herbert, Tua Tagovailoa, Kyler Murray,
yikes,
Sam Darnold, Mac Jones, Daniel Jones, and Justin Fields.
Wow.
That's just ridiculous. And you know what I just thought of, which scares me, is that, let's be real, Stetson Bennett will be a late-round draft pick probably, maybe earlier if a team is dumb. I'm afraid that the Lions might take him and sit him behind Goff for a year, and then he'll be our guy. And I'm terrified because he's not athletic. So
that would be interesting.
He did run around last night.
Did get the first touchdown.
Last night, though.
While you found that, I'm going to go over this real quick. Oh, they only have... That's interesting. They only have 3 quarterbacks listed on Wisconsin's roster for next year.
Well, one was today.
I think it was yesterday, but there should be 4. Unless one is... No, one was for next year. So we will have 4 for next year. So 1 per down works.
I thought you said 5.
I thought it was 5, but 1 is a recruit, not a transfer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's about it for college football. The season's over. It was a fun season, and then it ended the same way. Georgia or Alabama or Clemson won, and I'm sick of it. Hopefully the 12-team playoff next year will mix things up. I'm just sick of the same fucking teams. So, MLB real quick. Carlos Correa finally found a home?
Yeah, the saga is done. He lost $150 million in a month, and he also was on 3 different teams in a month. So he ended up signing with the Twins today, which was completely out of left field. I shouldn't say completely, because he re-signed. Yeah.
Re-signed.
Yeah. No, I guess you can't say that, because technically he was on other teams.
Well, yeah, that's true.
But yeah, so I guess the negotiations with Correa and the Mets didn't really pan out as they wanted to with the physicals and everything. And in the meantime, he was still talking with the Twins. Signed with the Twins today for 6 years, $200 million. Could reach 270, depending on the physical. So I would say it's probably not going to reach 270 based off of what's gone down in the last month. Yeah, I would say that he probably is going to stay at 200. But the fact that he was close to signing multiple contracts over $350 million in the last month and now gets $200 million, he's still getting $200 million, but lost out on $150 million. It's a lot of money.
Well, and one of those deals was for 10 years. So, when you get to that age where maybe you're not as good anymore, he was locked up, guaranteed money.
The only option now is an extension.
He's only got 6 years. Right.
But he has to play well and not get injured.
Yeah, good luck with that, bud. Before we wrap up here, we're actually, quick episode, probably because, we didn't have a whole thing of picks. The All-Star ballots will probably be back next week, unless we come up with another idea, but we're going to bring those back, so anybody that actually listens to this, if you have any ideas, hit us up. We'll have to check at our notes app. I think we still had a couple we didn't end up doing.
I don't know.
We'll check that out. I think we kind of might have bled that one dry. Maybe we got to come up with something new. I'm sure we can come up with something.
Well, we got a couple different things we could throw out there. It doesn't have to be the All-Star ballot. Throw in some new segments,
Yep.
Get some guests on there.
All-Star ballot. We could do some guests. That's an idea. I got one in mind that wanted to come on today, but we didn't plan ahead. So
yeah, it's probably a good
do not
thing.
bet list.
I just don't know if we would have had it set up in time and had everything right for whoever this guest may be to come on. You know.
Yeah. Another time. Do not bet list. I just threw TCU. I didn't actually bet them, but I wanted to. I'm very glad I didn't. But I mean, they belong on there because fuck them. You said you had a few, right?
Yeah, so I have started betting college basketball. Currently, it's a slow week. There's a really good slate of college basketball games tonight as we're recording this. I decided that I wasn't going to bet on them just after the bad weekend that it was gambling. So I'm going to take this week to really just kind of dive into college basketball and really see what I'm liking before I start throwing money on it. But last week I did bet on some college basketball. Oklahoma State fucked me, so they're on my do not bet list. And then Minnesota basketball also fucked me, so I'm not betting on them. And then college football. I'm going to take like a 6-month hiatus from betting on college football, mostly because of TCU. So college football, you're on my do not bet list for like the next 6 months.
Yeah, that's right, bitch. All right, I have roulette this week if I can get it to open. This thing's being weird. We're going to do 5 numbers. We're going to both pick 2, and we're going to do honorary number 12 for my good friend Aaron Rodgers. I know he's hurting right now, so
I fucking hate you.
I decided to throw him in there. Let's see.
I hope that hits now.
You could. I mean, hey, if it does, thanks, man. All right, we're going to miss this spin here. What 2 numbers did you want, Frankie? Look at that, 30 hit with the 100X.
Oh, damn, I was going to take 30. Let's see.
I'm going to take, I want 16 and 9. That's what I'm taking.
16 and 9? What have the colors been? I can't see.
Yep. Lot of red, not a lot of black.
Okay. So I want 20, what is it, 24 that's red, not 23?
Yep.
Okay, so I'll take...
Wait, oh, no, 23 is red,
okay,
sorry. You
so
want 23?
I want 23. And let's take...
Hurry up.
18.
18?
Yeah.
All right. We have 9, 12, 16, 18, 23. Lightning numbers coming up here. 4 of them, nice. 11, 22, 23,
yeah.
31, 50x on the 23, nice. Let's see a 23, that'd be nice. A little 50x action. Or 12 for my boy Rodgers. That would be nice as well. Oh, no. My view was minimized. This is weird. What hit? 5. Oh. Number 5. Well, all righty then. Be sure to have a great weekend. Let's hit some tanks, adore some tutties. Be sure you think about how much more fun this weekend would have been if the Lions were in the playoffs.
Or the Packers.
Hey, like, subscribe, leave a review. Pray for the Packers fans, man. They've been through a lot.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding. Fuck Aaron Rodgers.
I mean, just remember that,
fuck that guy.
Neither the Packers or the Lions are playing in the playoffs this weekend. We'll both be watching from home, so...
And also remember that the Packers finished under 500 and the Lions finished at 9 and 8. Have a great weekend.
Don't forget to ask yourself when the Lions won a playoff game last. But all right, peace out.
2023 is our year.
Peace.